Welcome back to the Pursue Vegas podcast. I'm your host, Dave Berlin.
And I'm your co-host, Tawny Nguyen.
And we are excited to have another incredible Vegas legend. I'm just going to say it, a Vegas legend here in the studio. And he took a shot and helping us out on season 1, Mr. Jon Orlando.
You know what's weird is when you said Vegas legend, I was like, wait, who's on? Who's coming? I was so excited. Like you had a surprise guest. I thought you were piping somebody in on Zoom or something. I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. Like you didn't tell me this.
Like
and
the
it's
time you had Meltzer on.
Yeah, terrible. I'll take it, but like so not accurate.
You're like, whoa, who's coming in?
Yeah, I was like,
where are they
man, who's coming in here? I got so I was hyped.
He's like, am I dressed for this?
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, you didn't tell me there was someone coming. Who's coming?
Surprise!
It's Jon Orlando.
Oh, we gotta raise the bar, Dave. Holy cow!
Jon, welcome, my friend.
Thank you, man.
Tell us what you're on to, man. There's a lot of stuff. I've always seen you repping podcasts for sure.
Yeah.
What's the big focus for you right now?
Big focus is just screwing things up on a daily basis. I'm working on some cool stuff, doing this project with Dave Meltzer.
Yeah.
We're going to have a podcast studio over at the Palazzo inside their new poker room that just opened. We were at the grand opening with you, me and you, which was really cool. Do you play poker?
You know, I sincerely thought about it. It's one of those things where I have played before. I've only played in a few little tournaments, but in Tony Hsieh's book, he talks a lot about what he learned about business and what he learned about life just by playing poker when he first moved here.
Do you play golf?
I did a long time ago.
No more. I don't play golf, but I heard golf is very frustrating. I'm here to tell you, I can't imagine that golf is more frustrating than poker. So my advice to you is do not play poker because...
Especially in this town?
Yeah, for example, I played in a tournament last, I'm foggy on the day, let's call it last Friday. I played in a tournament. That was my 432nd tournament since giving up tournaments. Yeah. So, and that's just this month. So, don't do it. It's a miserable game.
Redefine,
all right, there you
don't
go.
Quit.
Yeah. Clearly, I will not be an ambassador for poker. Just the degenerate that plays it and complains about it. But it's a brutal game.
Do you like get everybody ruffled and like
I do
mess with everybody at the table?
Yeah. Well, I only if you mess with me. So like I'm nice. I like to keep it light and friendly. But there's always one guy that's just like a dick. And then I come for him. I put a target on him. And,
Plot twist. It's him that's the dick.
Yeah. So, so I'm real excited about that. You know, that hopefully will be open. They're saying winter of 2024. So I don't know if that means October, November, December. But hopefully one of those months.
Have you guys already shot there a little bit?
Meltzer did some shows there, but like very informal. Like the studio's not even set up yet. The space is there, but there's no equipment or anything in it yet.
Yeah. And how hard was that, man? That's got to be a little difficult getting into a property like that.
I had nothing to do with it, so that's always good. This is all Meltzer. He had the relationship with them, and it was really a luck and timing kind of thing because they already were planning on putting like a studio in there for poker content. And so this isn't like our studio, like Sticky Paws was me, or like Blue Wire or something like that. This is we're kind of sharing the space, but we'll be doing a lot of fun stuff there.
I love that. I love that. So you're saying winter of 2024?
Yeah. So a few months. It'll go quick.
Cool. And do you already have some ideal people that you're going to be bringing on the show?
I have a wish list. I don't know if I can get them. But yeah, like it's definitely time for me to get Mike Tyson on the podcast. It hasn't happened. I know Mike. I haven't talked to him in a minute, in quite a while. So a lot of these guys, they change their phone numbers a lot, because they're too willing. They give it out to too many people probably. And so I don't have a current number for him, but we have enough people in common.
You just keep hitting speed dial 4 to see what happens.
Right? Yeah. That's hilarious. So he's on my wish list. The Rock is on my wish list. I mean, again, these are me dreaming big.
If you need a Rock lookalike, I might know somebody.
Yeah, right?
We got you a knockoff.
Right? Yeah, I'll take knockoff Rock. Generic Rock. Today on the podcast, we have generic Rock. We have generic Eminem. And we're hoping to get generic Gene Simmons, but we can't even get him to commit. But the generic version.
It is Vegas after all.
Right,
you can go down the strip and pick one up.
Well, we can get crackhead Spider-Man from Fremont Street, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Imagine we did an episode with him.
I just saw him like 4 days ago. I was down there at Circa, and I went out to Fremont to show some people like from out of town. Here's where you don't want to be at night, and there he was. Yeah,
that's so funny. That's so funny. How long have you been here? Because I feel like I met you. I've only been here. I'm celebrating 6 years. And I met you, I ran into you early on, and then a lot more frequently here in the last year. But it feels like you've been here forever.
July 1st of 2017.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, but there's a lot of people that always thought I lived here because that's how often. I'll tell you a funny story. So this is back in the Hard Rock days. So this is like maybe late 90s, early 2000s. I went through a period where at night on Fridays and Saturday nights in Vegas, I wanted to wear a suit. I have no clue why I wanted to do this. No tie, but just like kind of dress it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it's middle of summer, and it was one of those. This was back when I might have done some crazy things, when
allegedly.
Someone that looks like you.
I never drank and never really got into drugs, but there was this one certain little pill that I may have taken, recreationally back in the day. Okay. Yeah, exactly. That's the pill that you would take there. Yes, exactly. That's the one. That's the vitamin E, right? Yeah. And I remember I was in this suit. I was in L.A. So I'm in L.A. We go party. I take this pill, and then the clubs close at 2 a.m. in L.A., which is crazy.
Yeah.
In Hollywood, like you would think, let's go longer, right? So. Of course, I took a second pill around 1:30, which was a big mistake because then close at 2. And I was like, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to drive to Vegas. So I couldn't get anyone to come with me. And they're like, you're going to drive like this? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm all good. Don't worry.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Normally I take 4 or 5 of these. 2 doesn't faze me. It's all good. So I can't get anybody to drive me. So I call a buddy here. And I'm like, hey, I'm driving to Vegas. I'll be there. It's 2 o'clock. I'll be there at 6. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, dude, why don't you just fly? I go, there's no flights right now. He goes, so go to the airport at 6, get on a 6:30 flight, and you'll be here at 7:30, an hour and a half later, rather than drive through the desert in your condition, you idiot. What are you doing? Yeah. So I was like, that's a great idea. So I didn't want to go home. So I literally drove to LAX, parked on the roof, and was just jamming out to music for literally 4 hours. Went in, bought a ticket, came here. It's literally middle of the summer. It's like July something, right? So I land in Vegas 6 or whatever, 8:30 in the morning. I go straight to blackjack, and I win like $4,000. And I start calling. Do you know Gio, who hosts Fitness Junkeez? My buddy Gio, this black dude. You know Gio. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we were partners in a PR firm. This is like my best friend of now 30-something years since before you were born. And so I'm like, dude, you got to come to Vegas. Like, come to Vegas right now. I just won $4,000. He goes, bro, I'm asleep. Because I was with him at the club. He was like, don't drive. Like, what are you doing? So he's like, tell you what, call me at 11. If you still have the money, I'll get on a flight. Because he knows me, right? Okay. So 11 a.m. hits. I have no fucking money. It's gone. I lost it all. Not only do I not have any money, but I call him. He's like, okay, am I getting on a flight? I said, well, hit a little snag. I need you to wire me. This is back when there was no PayPal, there was no Venmo, there was no Cash App. 100%. Western Union me $1,000 right now. He's like, what? I go, I can win it back. He's like, all right. So he Western Unions me $1,000, and at the time, so I'm at the Hard Rock, which is now Virgin, right? So I'm at the Hard Rock, and at the time, the closest Western Union was inside the Barbary Coast, which is where the Cromwell is now, where Dre's nightclub is, right? So originally that was called the Barbary Coast Hotel, and the original Dre's was in there. It's actually still there in the same spot, not the upstairs Dre's, but the downstairs. Okay, so I get over there, I get the money, I take a taxi back to the hotel, and I blow through the $1,000. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I'm like, this is in July of like 2000, July of 2000. Okay, so I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? So I'm like, okay, I just need to clear my head. I need some sun. Remember, now I don't have bags. I don't have clothing. I'm in a suit with no tie, right? So this is a swear on my life. Every bit of this is true. I'm gonna incriminate myself, but statute of limitations prevents me, I think, from prosecution. Hopefully. Yeah. So I go into the Hard Rock gift shop. I'm like, I need a swimsuit, right? I gotta get a bathing suit on. So I go and I try them on in the back, and I'm like, but wait, I don't have any fucking money. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna spend it. And there's like $80 or whatever. I'm like, if I'm gonna do a cash advance on this credit card or use the credit card, I'm gonna need it to gamble, right? To get the money. So I'm like, can't do that. So I just like, they won't miss it. So I put the fucking swimsuit on, put the suit pants over it. I walk out. Done. Theft has been committed at this point. Keep in mind, I'm on drugs, okay, Dave? I'm out of my mind. So I see that look you're giving me. Don't you judge me. I was out of my mind, okay? The guilty party here is the dealer that sold it to me in L.A., and I'm coming for him. I don't know who he is. I don't remember his name. I never knew his name. It was one of those,
it was L.A. in 2000? There's an 84% chance it was me.
Oh, really? I'll tell you where I was. I was at a club called Rockstar on La Brea and Hollywood Boulevard, and it used to be called Garden of Eden. Anyway, some people called it Garden of Semen. Anyway, you can edit that out. Well, you don't have to edit it out.
That's a good name for a club here.
We're live.
Oh, well, yeah, no editing here. By the way, are we anti-F-bomb and all that? Should I not?
I mean, I'm on the fucking podcast.
Okay, great. Okay, good to know. All right. So, anyway, I go back. So now I get out to the pool. I take my suit off, take everything off, and people are looking at me like, what is this guy doing? I literally strip down to the bathing suit that I had under, my suit pants now. Get some rays, start feeling a little better. Leave the pool. Now it's like 2 o'clock. Call Gio for another wire, which remember, that means he has to drive to Western Union, fill out the paper. You know what I mean? So he cuts me off at $500. He goes, sorry. He says, I said, look, I need money. To fly home. I bought a one-way ticket. Like I cashed advance everything. Like I'm broke. You're going to have to hook me up. So he's like, I'm going to wire you $500, but you have to promise me you're not going to gamble with it because I'm sending you this money to get you home. I go, I promise you. I promise you I will not do it, right? Okay, he's like, all right. So he Western Unions me money, and now I got to get from Hard Rock to the Barbary Coast, or what you know as the Cromwell. It doesn't sound that far. It's really fucking far.
Yeah.
I'm on Paradise and Harmon. I need to go to Flamingo.
Yep.
And the Strip.
Yeah.
It's July 11th, let's call it. It's 100-some degrees. I'm in a suit with suit shoes, and I realize I don't have money for the taxi. So I'm like, what am I going to do? Am I going to take the taxi, have him wait? The meter's going to run. What if there's a line? This could be like a $100 cab ride out of the $500. We can't have this, Dave, because even though I told Gio I'm not going to gamble with the money, I'm 100% going to be gambling with this money. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to walk it. So I start walking, and I've got my suit on, right? And I'm like, oh, my God, it's too fucking hot. So I take the jacket off. Now I'm walking with the jacket, like, with my finger on it, and I'm walking down the street. I look like a crackhead. Like, what is this guy doing? So now I'm like, Jesus, it's hot. So now I untuck the shirt, right? Like, and then I'm like, oh, my God, this is fucking brutal. I'm like, well, I do have a bathing suit on under this. Okay, so I take the suit pants off. So now I'm walking holding the suit pants and the jacket. I swear on my life, every bit of this is true. Okay? Now I'm walking with black socks, a bathing suit on, and black suit shoes, and an electric blue. I mean, whatever that is in your head when I say the color electric blue, really electrify it as Versace would. I'm in a Versace electric blue shirt that when I look at old photos, like, why didn't anyone tell me stop wearing that?
It's the one from Virtuosity.
It's awful. Yes, exactly. Okay, so I'm walking. I'm like, this is nuts, man. So now I finally get there. I've unbuttoned the shirt. I'm drenched. It's summer. I'm miserable. I look homeless. Like, it's just awful. I've got bed head, pool head, you name it head. Like I should have stole a hat when I took the bathing suit, but I wasn't thinking because I was on drugs. It was brutal. Dave.
Went in for the criminal card,
Tony,
right?
This was awful. Okay. So I get there. I get the $500. You asked, okay? You wanted stories. All right. So I get the $500, and I blow it in the Barbary Coast playing blackjack in, I don't know, 6 minutes. Gone. I'm starving. I'm broke. I know I can't call Gio, but I'm going to call Gio. So I call Gio, and he's like, absolutely not. Reads me the riot act. Think he hangs up on me. Gio is the most calm human being. You know him. Mm-hmm. If Gio's mad at you, you fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I just start calling people that I like who can send me some money. So I call my friend, affectionately known as Drunk Nicole. She'll understand my dilemma, right? So I call Drunk Nicole, and she brings me $1,000, takes me back over to the Hard Rock, and it was just brutal. I ended up losing most of that, and I had sense when I did get down to like $200 just to fly home with my tail between my legs, and that was so. The reason why I brought this up, so I'm back in my suit, right, and I'm walking out, and I had seen. The Hard Rock was like my home away from home, so I had been there so many times. I knew the whole staff and everything, right? Actually. Yeah. So I see this cocktail server that I've known since day one of opening, and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, she's like, "Oh," she goes like, "Long night partying," and I was like, "Yeah, I just never changed out of this." I said, "I'm on my way to the airport." She's like, "Oh, where are you going?" I go, "I'm going home." She goes, "Home? I thought you lived here." Like, yeah, no. She's like, "You're literally here every week." I'm like, yeah. Cool. So with that said, see you next week. Yeah, that was my debauchery. Did I answer the question?
I was waiting for when the suit was going to get brought up again.
So now I've got to know, do you actually live here in Vegas now?
I live here now. Yes, I live here now.
He's like, no, I just flew here today just for this podcast.
No, I live, I'm a resident. I got a Nevada license. Yeah, it's all good.
I love it.
Crazy. So the moral of the story is don't do drugs, people. Don't do it. Don't do it.
That's a great
He's
moral.
He's like, gamble, but don't do drugs.
Yeah. Gamble, but don't do vitamin E. Don't take vitamin E.
And now, we won't go into how the drugs are obviously different now, but Vegas is different now. Vegas
is different.
That was not a lifetime ago, but that was a while back. So what are you excited about now? Because Vegas is different. In the time that I've lived here, I moved here pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm here post-pandemic, but you've been here a lot longer. What do you see?
Man, I think this is the greatest city in the world. I love Vegas. I always used to call this home, even when I lived in LA.
Can you hear the air quotes on that?
Did you hear the air quotes? Yeah.
Is it strong enough?
I love this town. I'm most excited about baseball coming here.
Nice.
Hopefully it's still the Oakland A's. I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was just an expansion team. I'd rather it be just a new team with a new name from the ground up.
So that's a pivot question that I wasn't anticipating. But now, if you could name the baseball team, the Las Vegas.
Man, I don't know. That's a good question. I used to shit on the Golden Knights name. I was like, why would you call them the Golden? Like, there were so many better, like, Vegas names until I went to a game. And I saw like they do the whole history of what it is, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like this is kind of cool. Now it's cool. I get it. I don't know. I want to lean into like the obvious, like the basketball team, the Aces, like something like that. But maybe it would be cool. Like I do appreciate what the Golden Knights did. I think that was actually really smart, like to put a storyline around it and stuff like that. So that could be cool. But I think it's going to be the A's. I mean, I think unless something happens. But nice. A baseball stadium on the Strip, I'm definitely getting season tickets. Like.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's going to be your new home.
That's going to be my new home.
Going to live in the RV in the back.
Yeah. I told Vanessa, my girlfriend, I'm like, I don't think you understand how many games I'm going to go to. Like, I'm just prepping you now. Like,
I might move out and live on the Strip.
Yeah, I mean, there's 81 home games. I'm probably going to be at least half of them.
Yeah, so sports has been a big shift here for sure.
Yeah.
What about when it comes to entrepreneurship in general? What have you seen? What are you excited about?
Just so much opportunity here, Everyone comes through Vegas. I mean, it really is like, they call New York City like the melting pot, right? But it's like, to me, Vegas is too. Like it's everyone comes through here. Pick a city, pick a country, pick a state. They all come here throughout the year. It's just, there's so much activity here. I definitely think it's going to be the next Hollywood. Obviously, a lot of, Mark Wahlberg moved here. They're building studios. And I don't see how it doesn't go that way. Unfortunately, the traffic's going to change, and we've all seen that. So, it's drastically changed since I moved here, since you got here. Yeah. But I still think it's the best city, and I think the way it's set up, even when there's traffic, like I could still get home. Like I could leave here right now, not take a freeway, and I could be at Durango Resort, like it's pretty close to where I live, in 20 minutes.
Yeah. I was gonna say 18.
Yeah.
18.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Well, let's talk about the film for a second, because I personally cannot speak to the Hollywood 2.0. I know some people can. Mm-hmm. I do believe that it's going to happen to a certain degree. But one thing that I've seen, and I was excited for you to come onto the show, I think that there's a fallout in the middle.
Yeah.
Dude, there's going to be like 60 podcast studios across the valley in the next.
I agree.
Like, and like even the studio that we're in, which wishes to remain nameless, like there's a lot of these that are, it started off as somebody using it for their business or something like that. And then there's people that are taking more the route of studios as a business.
Yeah.
What's your prediction, or what do you see in the podcast studio world?
Totally agree with everything you just said. Back in 2010 and 2010, I was a partner in a mobile app development company. And I remember pitching specifically the Hard Rock and all these other hotels. And my pitch would sound like this. I said, listen, you think this is 2010. So apps were not what they are today, right? And I used to say, if you are a person, place, or thing, and you are in business, you will have an app in the next 12 to 18 months. You just don't know it yet. I feel the same way about podcasting right now. If you are in business, you have a personal brand or your own company, big company, small company, doesn't matter, a clothing store, a restaurant, whatever your jam is, I promise you're going to be doing a podcast in the next 12 to 18 months. You just don't know it yet. Some will do it obviously better than others. I mean, I almost venture to say, I don't know how many users Instagram has, maybe, 1 billion users or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. You're going to have 1 billion podcasts.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form. So I think that means there's a lot of opportunity to own studios, small or big. I think there's enough of the pie to go around that everyone can actually do well. And I don't even see it as competition with all these other studios. I know some people, I'm not really wired like that though. Also, I'm more like Gary Vee always says, there's enough, we can all win. And I really believe that. Even if you put 10 studios out here, there's enough to go around. There's enough activity. There's enough out-of-towners coming in. Mm-hmm. I think everybody can do fine.
Imagine you put one at the airport, too, because it's now the new gateway drug for content creation, right? Because people are afraid to be on camera. But if you're on a podcast, the world kind of disappears.
Totally.
Because I remember the first time we went on a podcast together and you said that to me, and I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And here we are.
There used to be a gym at the airport. Do you remember that? There used to be a gym inside the airport when it was McCarran. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that when they had
it was right above baggage claim.
Like you could smoke at the airport too then.
Yeah.
Right?
While on the treadmill.
Literally right above baggage claim, there was a 24-hour fitness.
Wow.
At one point at the airport. But yeah, I could see that. I could see a pod kiosk in the mall.
Yeah.
How you used to take pictures and stuff, like a photo booth. Why not just hop in a little, tiny little cubicle and
everyone's going to be having sex there,
take
though.
it. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, that's a great point. And even you and I, we've ran into a few of the same properties. Like that one day, whenever I watched one of the properties open up at Uncommons, I was talking to the developers and all that stuff, and I just threw it in there super casual. Yeah. They were I was like, "What are you excited about?" And they just talked about this and this and that, and I was just like, "Yeah, but where's the podcast studio go?" And they were just like,
"Yeah."
They didn't even think of that. Yeah. And now there's even apartment complexes, the higher level ones, that they're including that as an amenity.
Yep.
So I had this idea the other day. It's the way that you've seen a lot of these seasons, right? When bottle service got live, then it was who could do the best bottle service. And then now I feel like one of the big competitive things for the big properties is, who's the DJ? Who's the resident DJ when what was the name of that club at Palms that nobody remembers?
Scribble?
No, Chaos.
Oh,
but Chaos was the club. But
the club was
it was the biggest thing in the world.
Right.
There was billboards all across the country Marshmallow.
Right.
There's going to be it's going to be who's the resident podcast studio host. I think that's going to be a whole different level of who comes through.
And doing them live in front of an audience. There's so many things.
Yep. People come in and they have to walk through the property, and then they're thinking, ooh, I could host an event here. I think that's
live streaming Joe Rogan or something like that too.
Right. I mean, back to I'm all about Hard Rock. I'm nostalgic today for some reason, but I don't know if you guys remember, Howard Stern used to bring his radio show to the Hard Rock every year.
Yeah.
Or every other year, something like that. And it was a big deal. Same thing. I mean, that's the new podcast, right?
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how I've told you, you're a great storyteller, and a lot of people that want to go on a podcast are kind of afraid to share their story or even speak on camera, right? But with where the world's going, especially in Vegas, and we're the capital for entertainment, do you consider podcasts an entertainment, or how do you see that as a monetization, or how do people capitalize on that, it being in Vegas itself?
Yeah, I definitely think podcast is the new TV show. I mean, it really is. When you watch
everyone can play.
Everyone can play. There's no barrier to entry, really. And I think even the TV networks are really going to triple down on podcasts, because when you watch Jimmy Kimmel or you watch Jimmy Fallon, watch to the end of the show, the end credits, and look at how many people it takes to make that show.
Yeah.
It's insane. And all those people getting paid. When you think about Joe Rogan, he's got a guy named Jamie. I'm sure there's a couple other people. You know what I mean? Jon Orlando has a guy named Travis Flesher, right? It's like I'm sure there's other people a part of it, but it's nothing compared to. Now, obviously, that's different because they have live performances and stuff. But I think the networks are going to go, it's not worth it, man. Yeah. Let's just take it down to Joe Rogan level, and we keep all that of the money. It's going to put a lot of people out of work, unfortunately. Yeah. But that's technology moving. You know, you got to be able to pivot. I mean, that's life. Like you have to.
Well, then those people are going to go start anti-podcast.
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. Right.
That's a whole niche.
They'll figure it out. Right.
They'll figure it out.
It'll be a movement against a movement.
Right.
That'll be. Yeah. So hi, my name's so and so, and I used to be the key grip on the on the Late Show with Jimmy Fallon, and that guy's got 4 million followers because they're just like.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think in this town it's really interesting because it's like there's so much money here. There's from the casinos and the big budgets and marketing, and I think you're really going to see people like right now. It's like everyone's getting a podcast to like kind of promote themselves or promote their brand. But I think then certain people there will be like the equivalent to podcast influencers.
Yeah.
Right. So like there'll be people podcasting, figuring out how do I market this right on a podcast, or how do I market just beverages, or people are going to start picking their own lanes, and I think it's going to be interesting how people navigate through it.
Yeah, I think so. And you've been doing this for a while. So how do you see if you were to give advice to somebody out there who was looking at starting a podcast, what advice would you give to somebody?
I would say don't overthink it, number one. Just do it, which goes with don't overthink it, right? But yeah, like just jump in and just do it, and don't worry about results, and don't worry about editing it. Like I would just do it raw. Like we, at studio, people would come in and they'd bring notes and a laptop, and I'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I would tell them like, "Shut that laptop and throw those notes out. Like, don't do it." I get it. For some shows, it's like that is the task, and I get it. But for the most part, like just go. Yeah. Just don't, because I think when you prepare everything, it's one thing to have like an outline. Like if you have and I'm curious, like what you do, like do you have an outline, or do you have every specific question you're thinking?
No, I have no questions on here. It was really just your bio and some info about you, so I could wrap my head around it.
But that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it, because I think when you have a list of questions, I'm okay if you want to make a list of questions, as long as you're okay not asking all of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Meaning, as long as you're okay that if you get to question number 3 and a really cool conversation comes and you can go back and forth, be open to, damn, I had 9 other questions, but I didn't even get to them, but we made gold with the 3 that I asked, and then I'll have him back and we'll get to 4 through 9 later or whatever. Then it's okay. But if you're hell-bent on question, answer, you will miss out on the whole point of doing a podcast.
Yeah, it becomes like an interrogation interview.
Right.
Versus like a connection, like deeper, right? We say like go deep versus just go wide.
Yeah.
Podcasting.
One of my favorite authors of all times, a guy named Jon Acuff, right? He used to work for Dave Ramsey a long time ago. He did the Entree Leadership podcast, and he was the first host. He only did it for like 10 or 12 episodes. Yep. His first podcast was Simon Sinek.
Oh, wow.
It was brilliant because that was such a big network back then. And I remember it was question 1, and he asked Simon Sinek, and Simon Sinek dropped this profound answer, and he could have went so many directions with that. And he just goes, okay. Question 2.
No.
And it was like, and again, and it wasn't his fault. Like I think it's something that you get through. I mean, it's something that happens. Like I started my first podcast back during pandemic when everybody did, but I shot 30 episodes, and the first ones were pretty rough. But then you just get used to it, and then you just kind of start dovetailing, and you're like, oh, well, that's real funny. I want to hit on that. Yep. And then if you get to circle back to it, cool. Right. But if you don't, that's okay too.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that would be my best advice is like, don't overthink it. Don't plan. Just jump in and do it.
Just hit record.
And just be consistent, and just don't give up. Don't give up. You just got to keep doing it.
I love that. So with everything else that you're doing, that you're working on, what do you see as the biggest challenge with all the changes that are happening, right? All the changes are great. Traffic is one thing, but like from the entrepreneurial ecosystem, right? Especially you roll with some pretty fast company, man. I mean, there's some great people out there, and sometimes we can see the world a little bit differently, but for the everyday man and the people that are out there just really trying to step into entrepreneurship and stuff like that. What do you see as the biggest challenges in the ecosystem right now?
I think it's not being intimidated by all of the activity and all the sheer volume of entrepreneurs and people podcasting, and because then you start measuring, don't measure success. Like it's not easy to do, like it's hard to not like judge yourself. And I think that's a big trap. Like don't get into that. Like don't be hard on yourself. Like do the best you can, be consistent with it, work your ass off, but don't worry about, oh, this guy's building quicker, this guy has more followers, this guy's got more listeners, this is that. Like, because you'll drive yourself nuts with that. There's always going to be someone that's bigger, better, stronger. Whether you're a fighter, whether you're an NFL player, whether you know what I mean, or younger, whatever the equation, there's always going to be competition. And I think the key is not viewing it as competition. Let it push you, but don't let it shut you down and make you feel like, oh, like, only 30 people listen to my show or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. You never know. We're all playing the same game. And on any given day, you could have the one guest, famous or not, that you just go viral and it changes. I mean, what's that? Look at that girl, the Haktua girl, right? I mean, literally. Really wrap your head about the world we're in.
Yeah.
If she says that in 1970, 80, 90, 2000, no one cares, no one finds out because we don't even have, we're not always on camera like that. Right?
Yeah.
She says it now, and this girl's got opportunity after opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy, but that's also good news.
Yeah.
When I moved here, 2017, you listen to Rogan, right?
Yeah.
Someone
said I look like Rogan.
Really? Okay. When I moved
the
here,
haircut.
Okay.
The haircut,
and the shirt, I guess.
He is very black button down, yeah. When I moved here in 2017,
we'll roll with it.
I would listen to Joe Rogan every day, and he started every single episode of the podcast by saying this: today's episode of the Joe Rogan Experience is brought to you by the Fleshlight. I swear to you, go back on YouTube. Yeah. Wow. It'd be really cool if you could edit this in, like as a clip or something. But like he literally starts every single podcast by saying, today's episode is brought to you by the Fleshlight. The Fleshlight, do you know what that is? It's like a flashlight. We know. Okay. No, I don't know. Google it at home if you don't know. I won't get into all the gory details here. I already did enough with the drug story. All right, I don't need to go 3 for 3 here. But if I would have told you back in 2017, Joe Rogan is 4 years away from a $200 million deal with Spotify, and then 6 years away from his second $200 million deal with Spotify, you would have told me I was crazy. Joe Rogan would have told me I was crazy. And that just shows you like how things can change, man. I mean, that's like really great news for all of us to go from the Fleshlight to a Spotify deal.
And it's a minefield because there's a lot of in between that will just destroy you. Yeah. Like you can get destroyed for something like not even that bad.
Totally.
And people can twist that. Yeah. But like you said, you could take the worst thing and then that'll be the catapult that opens up the doors.
And the crazy thing is I'm now 7 years into my podcast and I'm dying to get the Fleshlight deal. I just want the Fleshlight deal. Never mind the Spotify deal. How do I get the Fleshlight deal? Even just product for trade.
Just product.
I love it.
That'd be part 2.
Yeah.
We might have to keep it off of Pursue Vegas.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, that's funny. I love that you brought up the whole vanity behind the followership and stuff too, because we measure our worth, right? Just like companies measure their worth with revenues, but that's all metrics.
Yeah.
But where you actually identify is where the profit is or where the cash flow is. And for us in the social media content production world, I think followers is the new metrics, but it's the vain thing that people chase after. But the real thing, it's like the sanity really, it's are you actually bringing value? And then the most important thing is, are you actually making impact? Are you vulnerable enough so that people can actually reach out and feel like, hey, I really connected with your content? Even if it's just a single person. Yeah. If you can make one single impact per episode or just overall and change someone's life by just something that you say, like I think that's so meaningful. And like even if 30 people watch it, but if that one person can really connect to it, like I think that's just the biggest impact. That is the cash flow of like in the revenue side, right?
Totally
like the cash flow, that's the lifeline of why you're doing what you're doing, because there's meaning, there's purpose, there's intent behind the message that you want to bring to the world, the value that you want to drive after, and really connects people. After all, that's why we're making content in a world that we feel it's more connected, but it's actually disconnecting all of us, because now people are kind of identifying as like, oh, that person's much cooler than me. They have a podcast. They probably make more money. But people don't see the real side behind entrepreneurship. It takes money to put yourself on social media. That's your new digital resume. People, that's the first thing they look at. They don't even look at your LinkedIn anymore. They look at your Instagram. What are you posting? Right. You know, are you interactive? Is there engagement? You know, are you fun as a person? Do you post memes? Or are you just about talking about yourself on a publicized, like, hey, look at me, like, look at all the accomplishments, but who are you as a person? Right. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I think it really comes down to, are you willing to extend that help to the next person, right? I can't believe how many people, like, I remember some of the first podcasts, like back whenever John Lee Dumas was doing like Entrepreneur on Fire. I reached out to the guy. I found out he was a veteran, and like they started a whole veteran podcast that was separate from all that, and I got to help like facilitate that and run a mastermind group. Like his podcast had millions of followers, and this one there was like very few, but we were in a small group there was like 11 of us, and we had a lot of like time with the guy.
Wow.
And I was really surprised by that, because it was just that, you know, willing to extend their hand out, and it wasn't like a hand. We paid for that. We paid probably half of what his mastermind was at the time, but the fact that he would like be on the calls, like, it says a lot, right? Yeah. And there's some people that, you know, aren't who they are on camera. They're not the same person off camera, right? And then they treat people like garbage. So I think it's really the people that go the furthest are the ones that continue to help, but also ask for help, and keep moving up, which is why I love, you know, Dave and just about everybody that runs in those circles with him. So.
Yeah, it's really a great circle. The Meltzer circle is amazing. I mean, he's got so many quality people around at those events that we go to and stuff, you know, where I see you.
100%.
It's really fun time. You're never there. How come? Where are you? What are you doing? Why are you hiding?
I was there once, I think.
She came once. She lives in a different state almost.
I live in Boulder City.
Yeah.
It takes me a little bit to get anywhere.
You take the train, and then you have to hop like on a commuter flight when you come. How do you do it? How does it work?
That's so funny. No, but I was really absorbing all your drugs and gambling story, because that's essentially what people think of Vegas. And it's funny that it started out that way, but people forget that there's heart and there's like really good people in this city.
Yeah, you can live here and never see the Strip. I mean, and there's parts you can go to, you know, in Summerlin or Henderson, and I dare you to tell me that you're not in Arizona or somewhere else. Like, you know, if you just walked out, you don't see casinos. It's not. You don't have to be that. People are like, I could never live in Vegas. Like, well, yeah, you're not doing what you do in Vegas on the weekend every single day. I mean, there's some people that do, but for the most part, like, we're not. When was the last time you went to a nightclub? You go to clubs?
I mean, to be continued.
Ratted you out? All right, bad that example. All right, never mind. Yeah.
When was the last time I went to a nightclub? And it was, that was different. It was in January, actually, and I got to meet Cascade. That was the coolest thing I've done.
That's cool.
Ever. I gave him one of my boom boxes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was a
Is that
really
a code
cool
word
day.
for something?
It's one of my favorite DJs.
It was actually a boom box. It was a little 8-track boom box that I found in my grandpa's closet when he passed away. And then I saw on one of Cascade's things a long time ago. He was really instrumental in it was like my power music whenever I was going through a divorce. Yeah. Breakup music is hard. Yeah. And I was like, I'm taking Cascade with me.
I love it.
And then whenever I saw that he had boom boxes on one of his posts, this is 5 years ago. There's pictures of me standing in front of the Venetian when he was at Chaos, and I literally had a sign that said, will somebody please tell Cascade I want to give him one of my boom boxes.
Really?
Yeah. And then it happened 5 years later in awesome. January. So yeah, that was the last time. I don't really do the nightclub thing very much.
Me neither.
But who knows? Yeah. Who knows? So with that all being said, you've been here, you've seen all the changes. Now the future is ours, right? Yeah. So if you could wave a magic wand, what is one thing that you would really like to see here in Vegas in the next 4 or 5 years?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. I mean, aside from the baseball team, what would I like to see here in Vegas? Man, I'll tell you, a really good, unless it's already here and I don't know, can we get a really good, like, hole-in-the-wall Chinese restaurant? Can we get one of those? How do we get that?
Don't look at me because I'm Asian.
Well, I'm just saying, fish where the fish are. What are we doing? Can you make a call?
He like immediately turns.
You're the obvious pink elephant in the room or whatever. No? All right. I don't know.
Hey, when you figure that out, like, please let me know.
Yeah. All right. Fine. Whatever. Yeah, you know, I feel like I mean, Vegas just has everything already. Like, I think it's just going to continue to grow. And, I don't feel like anything's really missing other than baseball. I hate to beat a dead horse, but like this is going to be a big deal for me. I guess basketball. I don't really care about basketball, but I guess we need that too. But we should have everything.
We should be inclusive of all the sports. All
right, whatever.
Breakdancing? Should we bring breakdancing?
How is this a sport in the end? What are they doing? Now you can open up a whole can of worms for me. I get breakdancing is not a sport. It is an activity. I talk about this all the time. I'm going to piss people off. Golf is not a sport either, by the way. It is an activity. It requires a lot of skill, but it's not a sport. You're not running. You're not jumping. The ball's not moving. It's just defenseless, and you're whacking it.
You're whacking it alone.
Yeah, because if whacking it is a sport, I'm just saying. Anyway,
brought to you by Flesh.
Yeah, would be a good sponsor there, the Fleshlight, for the Whacking It podcast, which is a golf podcast.
I know who to send this to.
Sponsored by the Fleshlight.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that would actually be kind of a good. Actually, wait, I kind of like that. Do we launch a golf podcast called Whacking It, and we get the Fleshlight as a sponsor? Can this happen?
I mean,
I think you're the logical host.
All we need is a studio. Do you know anyone?
Rich crazy Asian over here? No? All right. I don't know.
All right. With that being said, we're going to wrap.
Just got canceled.
Where can people find you and how do they connect?
Just Jon Orlando, Jon Orlando on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. Or the Action Junkeez Podcast. Junkeez is Junkeez. And that's not because I was clever. That's just because actionjunkeez.com spelled properly was $18,000 back in 2017, and I didn't have that. So we had to change the spelling. And
did you try to gamble to get
No,
the money?
No, I didn't try that. No, I used to be a complete degenerate. I was a complete degenerate from the time I was 18 till I was 31, and then after September 11th, I actually changed my ways, and now I still partake in degenerate-like activities, but I'm not operating as a degenerate while I'm doing it.
Cue the mocktails.
Yes,
I love the awareness in that sentence.
There you go.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you so much for coming on the show.
This was fun.
We
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you.
me. Yeah,
and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right.
All right, that's it for us today. If you like what you heard, please follow us at pursue.vegas and find all of us somewhere online on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, at Dave Berlin and at Tawny Nguyen and Jon Orlando.
I like it.
Peace.
Peace.